Welcome back to another segment of Coffee with Police Experts, IALITA 2022 edition for Police Magazine. I'm Doug Wyllie, and I'm here with Stan Seigler. You are the owner of DryFireMag.
Correct.
I saw you on the exhibit floor here at IALITA just a little while ago, and had the opportunity to to press the trigger on a couple of pistols there with the DryFireMag in the well.
Right.
I gotta tell you, I was very pleasantly surprised. It's something that I've preached for a really long time. I'm not a firearms instructor. I don't even play one on TV.
Right.
But I am a firearms enthusiast, and I've been a shooter since I was 11 years old. So,
good.
Dry fire practice for me has been something that's practically a religion. You know, it's something that you really must be doing constantly.
Right.
And with the DryFireMag, I really was encouraged by the fact that the sear reset felt very perfect. I mean, you have the M&P on your display case,
right.
Exactly the same pistol as I have, and the sear reset is almost identical. Really, really surprising. So first off, tell me about how you came to begin the company, how you came up with the technology for it. Give us kind of a quick précis of the history of DryFireMag.
Well, about 15 years ago, my wife and I and two older sons, we went to a 4-day handgun class. And during that class, the instructor was stressing the importance of dry fire practice.
Yeah.
But as he was doing that, he was racking the slide in between shots, of course, to reset the sear. And I was looking at that and saying, that's not good.
Yeah.
And so I went home, and 5 years later, I was able to come up with a simple process of how to do that.
Yeah. So now let's bring in the Glock here. We have actual Glock, yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now tell me, let's eject the mag, and we'll talk about how that all operates.
Okay. Well, this is a standard pistol, and normally during dry fire practice, you have to rack the slide to reset the sear, and then you pull the trigger, racking the slide in between each trigger press.
Yeah.
But what happens?
Let's take a look at here's the goods we really need to see.
All right. This is the DryFireMag, and all the mechanism that needs to happen is inside this case. It has a spring, it has a détente reed inside, and so you get the take up, you get a break, you get the reset, and the sound and the feel. Yes. The sound and the feel of the trigger resetting every time that you pull the trigger.
So now you developed this over the course of around 5 years.
Yes.
When a person makes the decision, and I think it will be a very good one, to purchase this, I see that there's a connection here for some manner of computing capability. That's recording what?
Yes, what this is actually what we call the smart DryFireMag. This one has electronics in it that helps it function with the laser cartridge that's inside the pistol right now.
Okay.
But what we call the original DryFireMag doesn't have any electronics. It's simply mechanical, everything.
Okay, so now there's just really the two options here.
Yes.
You have the one that now can integrate with the laser.
Yes.
And the one that is kind of a standard. And some folks really like the laser. I personally don't like the laser, so that's the one I would personally choose. But it's interesting because it doesn't feel exactly like a real mag. It doesn't feel like one that would carry ammunition, which frankly is a really good thing.
Yes.
And it's got this here different color tip, which is another really good thing, because you don't want to accidentally put in your duty pistol something that won't go bang.
Right.
But really, integrating this into your routine practice, the things that you would do. For example, I talk with a lot of officers, and they'll dry fire before they put their mag in, right before duty. They're going to do a couple of draws, and then they're ready for rock and roll, and then this will go back in the locker, and the pistol goes out on patrol with you.
Right.
What are some of the things that you're hearing? You've been here for 2+ days at IALITA. What are you hearing from folks? What's the response? What's the feedback you're getting?
It's a lot of fun to be at the desk down there and watch people come by. And I say, have you tried the DryFireMag?
Yeah.
And people say, the what?
Yeah.
And so they come over to the table, and I say, it's a trigger reset mechanism. And so they'll pull the trigger, I say, okay, release it, they'll release it. And they'll pull it again, and their eyes get wide. So I've had people burst out laughing.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Because it's such a logical thing to do, and it's so simple. People just, and for our first probably 3-4 years in our business, we didn't have to do any advertising because the shooters were so excited about it. most of the competition shooters, they would go into their podcasts and things, their social media, and they would just blast it over the internet. Everybody's just completely excited about it.
Okay, so now let's take you from the trade show floor to what you've been on the market now for a number of years.
Yes.
You're not new, but you're new enough that people may not know necessarily about you, like you said, the
Right.
What are you hearing from some of your earlier customers about what it's like to train with this, and has it affected their day-to-day, their preparation
Yes.
for patrol?
We have policemen, we have competition shooters, we've got FBI. I remember we had one FBI fellow that he ordered one because he was going for his qualifications, and he was not up to snuff. And so he got it, and within just a few days, maybe 3 or 4 days, he was up to where he should be.
Yeah.
And I had a fellow downstairs just a while ago. He said he has problem shooters that he's training. He gives his mag to those students,
Yeah.
and over lunchtime,
Yeah.
they are able to improve their shooting enough that they're able to pass what they're supposed to do.
So just from memory, I know that you have the Smith & Wesson M&P,
Right.
because that's the one I worked with. We obviously have a Glock. I believe I saw SIG.
Yes,
So what is that now the sum total of what we're
the
doing?
SIG P320, and we also have the XD.
Yep.
And so we have right around the corner, those are mostly the double stacks,
Yeah.
9mm, and we also have the 45 in the Glock. But we have the single stacks coming in, the Shields, the G43s.
Okay.
And so those are really coming in.
Yeah.
That'll be a springtime deal. So
Well,
we're
we're
also
darn
have-
close to spring now.
yeah, we also have the AR-15 coming in.
Okay.
So
Outstanding.
that's going to be really good.
Well, Stan, I want to thank you very much for this. It's a brilliant idea, and it's one of those things where it's kind of like, why didn't this exist before? You know, how did this not already exist?
Exactly.
I want to thank you for not only inventing it, bringing it to market, but also bringing it to my attention.
Yes.
Stan, thank you very much, and I appreciate your time
Thank you
today.
very much.
Once again, come back next time for more Coffee with Police Experts for Police Magazine. I'm Doug Wyllie.